Hi, I'm Jared, and I'm from the Broken Seal, and today we're going to be looking at Monster Hunter World. This is the all-in pledge. I think the only things that I didn't get were the black Diablos model, and maybe like the Azure Rathalos and whatever the other Rathian was. Primarily because I didn't think that I would need them, and I still don't. But I went all in on this because I really love Monster Hunter. I've been playing Monster Hunter for the past whenever the first one came out, which I looked up the other day. I think it's been almost 20 years, which is a while to say as a person who remembers it fairly clearly and now is in his 30s. So we're going to be unboxing the two core sets and then the Yuku that came with the, I think it was just a backing bonus. Then we'll look at Teostra, Nergigante, Kushaladora, and the Hunter's Arsenal. And then we'll be done. Let's see how long this takes. And please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And check down below in our description for ways that you can help support us so that we can keep doing all of this cool stuff. All right, so we're going to be starting with the core set, the Ancient Forest core set. 1 to 4 players, 60 minutes to 90 minutes. Let's flip this over. Okay. We have, with this core set, explore the lush ancient forests of the monsters and the monsters within. Greedy Great Jagras, Electric Tobi Kadachi, Fiery Anjanath, Terrifying Rathlos, and Swift Azure Rathlos. Hunt these dangerous creatures with the great sword, dual blades, bow, or sword and shield, crafting upgrades and honing your hunting skills with every hard-won piece of monster loot. Expand your tabletop Monster Hunter World with the fully compatible Wildspire Waste core set and other expansions featuring new monsters to battle against, new monsters to battle against and new hunters to battle with. So while I'm opening this stuff, which normally I cut out the actual opening, but there's a lot to talk about with Monster Hunter. The reason why I went on it, well, one of the reasons why I went all in on this is because, which I'm pretty sure they did this purposefully. I wanted to be able to use all of the monsters that I remembered playing when I was a kid, or fighting against when I was a kid. So Rathalos, Rathian, Diablos, Kushalador, Kushalador, etc. And they split those up into different little parts. So I needed this one for Rathalos and Azure Rathalos. I needed the other one for Diablos and Rathian. And then I needed the other one for Kushalador. Oh, I love this. So not enough games come with a how to organize your storage tray, because they'll just give you things that, are storage, but then no way how to actually do it. And then you just kind of have to make it up on your own or look for something online. So I love having this broken down. So we have Rathalos wings. And then the actual Rathalos figure. Let's snap them together. And also just, some insight into how we record. We just have the two cameras, the face camera and the top-down camera. In instances like this, I really wish we had a third camera to do like close-ups, which most of the time I just use my phone for. But it'd be nice to not have to like stop from recording, then take a picture, and then, go back into the recording. Yeah, here's the Azure Rathalos, or the Rathalos figure. The models are very well done. That's something I can say just real quickly looking at it. Then we have the Anjanath. And then we have the Tobo Kadachi or Todo Kadachi. Can't remember for sure. Monster Hunter World was the one I played the least of. Not because I didn't like it, but I was an adult by that time and didn't have the free time to be able just to play as much as I wanted to. Which has definitely gotten worse over the years in terms of free time, not my life. And then we have the Great Jagras. If you're unfamiliar with Monster Hunter, they have tiers of monsters. There's the low level ones, which you can just like fight with, pretty much take them out in 1 or 2 hits. Then they have the ones right above that, which is what the Jagras is, where when you're a low level hunter, it is like a high level hunt for you because it could take you out. But as you get better gear, better armor, and you know how to play more, then you move up to like fighting this, which would be, the higher tier one. Then you move up to fighting things like the Anjanath or the Rathalos. And that's why their sizes are different. So you can kind of see like the tiers that they have. And then the highest tier was ones that you'd have to have like multiple teams to fight against. Because all of them you can either go like by yourself and then kind of try and make it, or you can go with the team and then you get better equipment from it, or better drops from it so that you can make better gear. And then the high level ones was like the Kushaladora. All right. I'm hearing something in here which makes me think something broke. And it did. So we have like a little spike or something. We'll have to figure out who that came from. Then we have our components. I'm not going to go through all of these, but we have what looks to be a dial over here, probably some status indicators, maybe some hit indicators, because one of the other things about Monster Hunter is you would try and break off certain locations so you can get better gear from them. So like with the Rathalos, which I'm now thinking it would have been really cool if you could have like popped these off, but like with the Rathalos, you cut off the tail, you could get like the spikes in there. If you could break the face, you could get something. I can't remember what. So all of them had like 1 or 2 locations you could break and get something cool from. Also, if you hear a baby in the background, watch our update because I have a child now. And we have our actual rule book. I just want to point out something. I went to go get the quick start guide because it was would be our first time playing, and I wanted to read up on the rules. They don't have that on their website, so I'm gonna have to read all of it and then hope we get it right, which we probably won't. So they showed the different hunters, the different monsters, the quest book, because you can like save your progress, because obviously the way the Monster Hunter game works is you would keep progressing up to be able to fight tougher and tougher monsters and then get gear from the monsters that you had before to fight the next monsters. And a board game, if you were to do that all in one sitting, that would take far too long. So the way they do it is you just write down what you had, and then when you go to play the next time, you already have all that stuff there. And I know that like there was something about like stamina in terms of how you fought. Like you would play cards from your hand, and then something like when you played this card, it would like wipe out your stamina card, and then you would have all your deck back or whatever. Don't remember for sure. All right, and then we have our quest book. So yeah, Great Jagras, Tobo-Kadachi, Anjanath, Rathalos, Azor Rathalos. This is the actual order that you would fight these things in. The reason why the Rathalos and the Azor Rathalos, once you fought like the base level version, aka Rathalos, then there would be a special version after that that had different like attack patterns. So that once you had gotten used to the Rathalos, you would have to fight the Azor Rathalos, which had different attack patterns, different resistances, different weaknesses and stuff like that. And you would get different things from them. Just flip over. And since this is based off of world and not just in general, there's like the scout fly system where you could like hunt down the monsters. This one, I think it's the player boards where like you can show your fight, your weapon order. Yeah, so here's the 4 different boards. I think maybe it goes like this. It's just, I'm assuming. I obviously don't know for sure because I haven't read the instructions. And next and last, we have a few of the other things in the game box. So we have our character sheets to save your progress. We have the monster boards to show the different locations and how the monsters fight. And these little, I don't know why I'm trying to do this. These little symbols here are the different locations that you can break on the enemies, and then the things that you would get from them. So like the Jagras has the tail, the back, and then like the front part, which is like its mane or something like that. And I think in this one, much like in the game, when you broke those, sometimes it would send them into a frenzy, and I think that's what these things up here are. I can't remember for sure. Then we have the cards, which obviously represent the majority of the actual gameplay. Because the figures are, important, but, I just not realized. I don't know where the actual game board is. Okay, there it is. Let's look at that real quick. Because the game board is important since you have to move around it. Both you and the monsters. So that's what the little spots are for. All of it doesn't fit on the top down because I was zoomed in. And then flip side, another location in the ancient forest. So yeah, we'll open up the cards. We're not going to do a lot of them because they're mostly just cards. So quality for one of them is probably going to be consistent for all of them. As a disclaimer, if they're not, I didn't make the game. I'm just looking at it. So like I was talking about, so the weapons get better as you use them. There's the Bone Blade, there's the Buster Blade, the Bone Slasher, the Chrome Razor, Giant Jaw Blade. Actually, no, none of these are actually on camera. And you can see in the corner up here, that's the weapon type, which was the Greatsword. And then as you go up in quality, they change color. And you can see like this one's called the Jagras, which means like you craft it from the Jagras parts that you collect. The Red Wing you would collect from the Rathalos, etc. And then like abilities for the Greatsword. Right. All right, we'll just pull out one of the the hunters. All right, so we have a sword and shield hunter. The bow hunter. I know I said I pull out one, but might as well pull them all out. These are the other important things about the game. We have the dual blade hunter, which I was a dual blade hunter when I first started playing. And the great sword hunter. I think in the very original one, everyone started off as a great sword hunter. And then as you progressed, you unlocked other weapons and you could use those. The bow was a special one that you had to like unlock to be able to use. Not special, like it was the most distinct from like how you fought with them, at least from my memory. And that's it for the Ancient Forest set. I'm gonna put all this away, and then we'll get into the next box set. Okay, I figured out what was broken. The Rathalos, his feet, or their feet. Well, Rathalos was gendered male, so Rathalos' feet are broken. There's two little claws broken off. So hopefully I can find the other one and just glue it back on. Or maybe Capcom / Steamforged Games will replace miniatures. Wouldn't that be nice? All right, so next up we have the Wildspire Waste. Since both of these are just core sets and pretty much the content in between is the same, I'm just going to really go over the miniatures that are in this box versus in that box, which for obviously the image on the front. And from what I remember reading on the last one, is primarily Diablos and Black Diablos. So yeah, this one has the hard-headed Barroth, poisonous Pookie Pookie, lurking Giratidos, horned Diablos, and menacing Black Diablos. I don't remember where Rathian is. Let's just put that out there right now. Also, since I'm not going to record or keep that part in, getting the monsters back in was a pain in the ass because everything had to be just so. So another little guide with a nice picture on the front and then guide underneath it. Oh my God, Diablos looks so awesome. Let's do a quick little inspection. Do we see anything broken? Okay, so we have the hard-headed Barith, the poisonous Pookie Pookie, the lurking Giratidos, and the horned Diablos, which will also serve as our Black Diablos. Oh yeah, this one does have different actual hunters, which I was pretty sure they did, but this one has the Insect Glaive, the Charge Blade, the Heavy Bowgun, and the Switch Axe in terms of hunters. Also, the box damage to the Wildspire Waste one is much more extensive than I thought. So in order, we have the Heavy Bowgun, and then we have the Charge Blade. Then we have the... No, was that the Switch Axe? I think that might have been the Switch Axe. Or, no, I can't remember. Then we have the Insect Glaive, and then we have either the Switch Axe or the Charge Blade. Another nice little touch that I like for this, the hunters have armor for monsters in the Wildspire Waste. I didn't notice it on the Ancient Forest hunters, but I could definitely see that one of the hunters had the Barith armor. So that's a nice little touch. I don't know if you can see it. So like the corner here, and then the corner over here. But mostly this corner over here, they're all real bad. They're real bad. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, so these two corners, but mostly this one right here, are bad. That's one of the good things I like about doing unboxings, is that if there is an issue, I have it recorded. And then you all can see that I didn't do anything to it. All right, so then we have the Yaku. When Monster Hunter World came out, this was like the first thing that you fought as like a better or stronger monster. And I'm pretty sure this was just a backer like thing. And it comes with the armor, weapon, attack, and damage cards for the Yaku. I would have liked, I think in the original games, it was like the Koot Koot that would do like a blinding attack. And you had to fight those a lot in the beginning to be able to get your better gear so you can start working up towards harder enemies. The Yan Koot Koot. Wow, they have their own rulebook? Oh, downtime activities, arena quest, which is an alternate play mode. And then adding it into your campaign. Game components. So, still feels like a lot for just one monster. Starting on page 15. So I guess this is like Scoutfly stuff, like you're trying to find it. No, this is the Scoutfly. So yeah, I don't know. The boards. Hold up. Did I just not remember this right? Because there are monsters or hunters in here. You know, it didn't say it on the back. Maybe it's just the armor from fighting the the Yaku. Or these are just maybe all the login bonuses, because these are the little cats that would come out with you, like your companions. which obviously you can't see, but I'm going to take pictures of. You know, I should have done this in the order that I took them out in. Okay. Monster Hunter Rise had the dogs, which was the first intro for dog companions, because it always used to be cats. The Palicos. I didn't play enough Monster Hunter Rise, though, so I didn't really get to do it. And it came out on Game Pass, which is, you know, obviously, since I'm saying it, that's what I used. But if you are not familiar, the Palicos could come out and fight with you when you didn't have a full squad. So that's why they have armor on. And then it looks like maybe we just have, alternate models. Maybe like the beginning gear sets. But this is definitely like Rathlow's armor for this hunter. Oh, and they have the little pig. Yeah, so I guess these are like daily bonuses from the Kickstarter. I don't know if you can actually use the Palicos. And I'm not going to take all of these out because it's going to be a pain in the ass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an image of the other monster, the other hunters, and then I'll do a close-up of the Yaku. I'm going to have to go back into the Kickstarter. Because obviously I could look through all this information, but I'm going to have to go back through the Kickstarter to see if we can use the Palicos or not. Because I would really like to. And I'm also planning on playing this tomorrow, which for you all will be obviously a different day. With Mark and Madi. Let's look at the Teostra. So yeah, this one just includes the Teostra and, you know, the cards for it, for fighting it, armor, weapons, downtime activities, and most likely some other stuff, but we'll see. So for everything that I've used or done since the core sets, you need to have the core sets to play, which, you know, I assume it'll be obvious. I just want to make sure. So yeah, we have cards for Teostra, which I can't remember if I'm saying right, because, again, Monster Hunter World was the one that I played the least of. You have the actual Teostra figure, which looks real badass. And that's it there. Let me just lift up the insert to make sure. Yep. And honestly, I know I'm not going to be able to. I wish I could play the Monster Hunter music while we're recording it. I can play it, you know, while I'm playing it, but for you all. Because that would just add another level of immersion. But Capcom won't let us, and I don't have anywhere near the money to be able to license it. So next is Nergigante. Nergigante was one of the monsters that I really liked. And I can't say for sure. I was thinking of someone else. I was going to say that they were featured outside of Monster Hunter World. But no, Nergigante was in Monster Hunter World. Those were one of the ones you fought at the end. If I remember correctly. So little spikes for it. I do like that these bigger monsters, like the Teostra and Nergigante, have like little special things for them. Oh, this is going to be annoying. So, this one has the wings broken down into the box, which means I'll have to put them back into the box the right way. So this is right. So it goes right, then left, then creature. If I remember, I think this was the one that like was the first like end game monster that you fought. Because then after that, it was like the new like end game creature, which was the new Kushlador. Unless I can't, like, again, 20 years of Monster Hunter, which I think is like 3 or 4 games. I'm not going to act like I have perfect memory of all of this. especially Monster Hunter World. You know what? Kushaladora was the end game one, the actual end game one for Monster Hunter World. Because the one I'm thinking of that was in the original Monster Hunter was like Lao Sheng Lung or something like that. This wing doesn't really seem to fit in right. So yeah, Nergigante is going to need probably some glue because its left wing is not strong in terms of like the seal, the snap-on seal. I would love to be able to play this as a full like campaign. Obviously time would be a constraint, but then also like Mark Coulter and I with Madi kind of there. We wanted to start a campaign game, either a legacy one or just an adventure campaign. So I would need buy-in from them if we're going to do that. This one as the game. And then we'll show off the arsenal real quick, which is, if I remember correctly, the alternate hunter. It's the other weapons. So there's the gun lance, the hammer hunter, hunting horn, lance, light bow gun, and longsword hunter. Yeah, so it's 6 new and unique hunters for epic monster hunting action. I actually forgot. We've been going through all of these. I forgot that the longsword wasn't in any of them yet. Because the longsword was an original, so I'm surprised that they didn't have it in there. I'm pretty sure it was the greatsword, the longsword, the dual blades, the sword and shield, and then the light bow gun and the bow gun, heavy bow gun. I know the hunting horn wasn't included in the original. The hunting horn, which is I am assuming this is for, was it like you can play music, which bolster your allies, and I think can debuff your enemies. Yeah, so I can remember fighting the original endgame boss. I think it was, like I said, Lao Sheng Long or something like that. In Rathalos armor with heavy bow guns, and you would just be like, you'd pull them up, and then you start walking forward and start firing at them. And the gun lance. So yeah, again, I mostly got this for nostalgia's sake. I really love Monster Hunter, and I've been playing it for almost 20 years. Also, to give y'all like a little sneak peek behind the camera, to do close-ups, you either have to have a dedicated camera that you can just put them up onto that's running along with all the other cameras so that when you go to edit, it's already sunk up. Or you have to take pictures and or video beforehand or during the video and then include them later. The latter way is cheaper, but far more annoying, which is why I stopped doing them for a while. I also stopped doing unboxings for a while, but that was because our life got hectic. And unboxings were not important enough to keep doing because I felt like my time was better spent doing actual gameplays and editing those. So anyway, we have Kushaladora, which was the end game elder dragon that you fought in Monster Hunter World. Kushaladora shields itself with fierce winds, preventing anyone from approaching its skin. Hard metallic scales can withstand. Oh, I didn't read the period. Kushaladora shields itself with fierce winds, preventing anyone from approaching. Its skin, hard metallic scales, can withstand all but the strongest weapons. You may as well try slaying a hurricane. So yeah, for this one, you had to have like the highest level gear, or at least weapons, so that you could actually hit it and do damage to it, if I remember correctly. because I think I only fought Kushaladora like a handful of times. It was at like the limit of my 100 hours that I usually put into a game like this. Right off the bat, I love it the most because I don't have to put the wings together. And the wings were tied in. Oh, so the only thing I have to snap on is the tail. That's low effort, and I'm fine with it. The wings are the more annoying part, especially when they don't have a dedicated holder. Talking about you, Teostra. Or no, Nier Gigante. Oh yeah, so we have cards for it, which you can craft gear from, I'm assuming. Because again, I didn't fight Teostra or Kushaladora enough to be able to get like gear from it. Here's the rulebook, the anatomy card, or cards, and then Kushaladora itself. Look how massive it is compared to all the other ones. And doing a quick look around, that's everything. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And check down below in our description for ways that you can support us on Patreon. And come back next time where hopefully I have all of this put together and can actually, like, you know, play a game. And for anyone who cares, I'll put this in somewhere. My original plan was to get all of these so that I could paint them and then have them like behind me or somewhere in our house. Because, you know, obviously this is big as hell and I just wanted it around. As well as the Rathlos and the Diablos and all that. But I have a child now, so we'll see if that happens. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Bye.